Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Sunday Night Live with me, Jonny Lipsham, and I've also got Christina here, all the way over from Denmark. She's been in the UK for a wee while. She popped in to see us on her tour around the UK. I can call it a tour, I think. Yeah. So she's here. She's just dropped by for a wee bit to come and see us. So we've been having a really nice time together with my wife and my kids.
Awesome.
It's been really, really cool having you here.
Yes, thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you for being in my own studio. Yes, I'm glad.
Thank you for having me, sir.
Yeah, I'm glad that you're here. We've been kind of talking about this for quite a while.
We did.
And we just thought it'd be really cool to get you over here. If you're going to be in the UK, that you may as well just drop by. And so it worked out quite nicely. So yeah, we've had a really nice time. So let's see who's here. Who was first in the room? Billy Morgan was first in the room, as he always is. Billy's always first.
Mm-hmm.
Ron Figuero's here. Kevin from Kevin's Guitar Stories is here. And Mike Johnson over at Music to Motion is also here. And we've got Daryl Harrison, who is new. Hello, Daryl. Good to see you. And Christina's here as well.
Oh, I am.
Yeah. She's here in the chat as well. Multitasking, yeah. And we got Ambient Dave here. We got Don Oliver. We got John Hawk. We got Bill Shepherd. We've got Rich Cresswell. And we got Dwayne. And I think that is everybody that I can see anyway. I don't think I can see anybody that I've missed. So tonight we're going to be carrying on talking about Studio One 6.2 because it's still pretty new. It's only been out a few days. I know I put out a video and we did a special live show on it. So I don't want to go over it too much unless you guys have still got questions about features and functionality. I know that some people have been talking about my phone is like digging into my leg. I need to get that away. I know a lot of people have been talking about crossfading and takes to layers, and also people have been talking about, when they're using the listen bus, they realize that the metronome doesn't go to it by default anymore. That's actually true. That's a change of behavior. That's by design. So if you have a session that is maybe your default is your template session and you're using the listen bus and you go, hey, why is my metronome not working? That's why it's not working. And it's not a bug. It's actually by design. If you look at the release notes, it actually says that it doesn't do that anymore. It's a change of behavior, but you can set it if you need to. But it's not default behavior anymore. You have to enable it. So a lot of people have reported this to us at tech support. And so just so you know, that's kind of why it is. It's not a bug. It is actually by design. So make sure you go and download the release notes so you make sure you can see everything that has changed, and you'll see that that's noted in there. Ambient Dave says, loving the new update, still to find the smart tools. Chris, sorry, Rich. Rich says, Christina will see the time delay with messages. It's very weird when you're not used to it. Yeah. If you're not used to the time delay, because what you're seeing on your phone is not at the same time as we're seeing it here. So yeah, there is a wee time delay. All right. So there is one correction I want to bring to something that I did that is wrong. So for those of you that have watched my overview video, which, by the way, has had more than 10,000 views already, and I only put it out on the day of launch. It's already had over 10,000 views. But a few people noticed the mistake that I made, and I went back and reviewed the video and went, oh, yeah, I did get that wrong. So we're going to bring a correction to that tonight. Because actually, what I did with the whole crossfade feature was I actually showed you how it has worked for eons. I didn't actually show the important parts. Why I didn't, I don't know. I just moved on to the next thing. So I apologize. I should have been a wee bit more careful and a wee bit more mindful of what I was doing. And it was like, as I saw it coming up in the comments, it was like, what? No, this is new bit. Oh, I realize what I've done. But it was kind of too late by then. So we're going to address that tonight. And to do that, I'm going to create a new song to show this. And I'm just going to pluck out a couple of random loops from somewhere, which you're not going to see just yet. But you will in just a minute. All right. So let's get this. He answers to Chris or Edge. Yeah, he really doesn't. But that Chris Res. Oh my God. Sorry, Rich. I know you don't like it. So I'll not persist with it. Rich says, I don't know if you showed it the time step patch automation when resizing notes. I really like this new feature. No, I didn't. I didn't show that. My intention with that video was I wasn't going to show every new feature of Studio One 6.2. I was basically just going to show a few, because the one thing I have realized is the longer you make your video, and I learned this from the 6.0 release, the longer you make the video, it kind of doesn't go quite so well. Not in terms of me actually doing the video, but in terms of people watching the video. They don't want to watch like an hour-long video of every single feature. So I kind of switched things up with Studio One 6.1. So that basically my overview video is just, I pluck out a few features and I just show those. And if Gregor does a video on takes the layers, or Joe does a video on something else that is a new feature, that's great. I don't mind that, and it actually makes it easier for me because I don't have to then think about, doing every single feature. And yes, I won't forget Classroom. I haven't actually gone to that yet. Mike says, with making the new song, can you let Christina play some keys?
No.
So yeah, we won't be doing that. All right, so let's get to this because I've actually got this set up now. So if we go over to the screen over here, and there's mini us at the bottom there. All right, so how this feature actually works is like this. So I don't even know what this sounds like, by the way. So it's a little bit folksy. I was about to say it sounds like the beginning to Every Breath You Take, but it's not.
No. Yeah, country-like.
Yeah.
Every Breath You Take in country?
Yeah. Yeah, a country version of Every Breath You Take. All right, so how it works is if I split this here by double-clicking there, and then if I zoom in, if I say, hey, I want to crossfade these two events, but I want to have a quick way to be able to decide how long the crossfade is, just literally in one move, then I can do that. Let's say I want to crossfade from there to there, and then I just press X. That's the new behavior. That's the bit that I didn't show. So I showed everything apart from the new behavior.
That's fast.
So yeah, it is. It's really, really cool. I really like it. And then if you go, hey, I haven't quite got it right, you can just shift it along like that. But that means now you've got a crossfade setting that you want for your particular audio events. And then you can zoom back out. And then if we play this from, say, here, you don't actually hear the join at all because of the way the crossfade works. But that's really handy. So if you wanted to make that even bigger, if I just undo all of that, and then let's do a bigger range, bigger crossfade, press X. Job done. So that's the new crossfade behavior that I didn't show in the video, and I meant to show it. So I apologize for that. So I hope that everybody now has seen how this works and understands the new behavior. It's very cool. I like it a lot. There's actually a good bunch of features in here that I liked a lot. And really, to be honest, the ones that I picked out for the overview video were features that I like. I am going to do a video on the takes to layers, the new takes to layers stuff, because that's a little bit more involved, and I could have done it in the overview video, but I realized, you know, a lot of people are going to have a lot of interest in that, and they want to just basically see that specific thing. So I didn't want to put it in the overview video, so there is going to be a standalone video on the takes to layers. Joe has one already. You can check his out now if you would like to, or you can hang around and wait for my particular take on it and how I would use the new takes to layers behavior and the new features of it, because it is very, very cool. And being able to use some of the tools from the toolbar on layers is extremely cool. Secret Squirrel says Johnny's wife. No. No. Christina is not my wife. My wife is next door. She's in bed. Christina is my friend from Denmark.
Yeah, I'm friend from Denmark. And Kate is sleeping, and she is a wonderful, wonderful, lovely, more beautiful than me lady. Absolutely.
Yes. Indeed.
Yes.
Indeed. Rich says it's neat, not entirely worth self-flagellation. I can see folks using this a lot. Thank you, Rich. You're very kind. But yeah, I did actually make a mistake with how I showed this, and folks did say so in the comments on the overview video. And once I realized what I'd done, I knew that at the earliest point I needed to put out a correction. So here it is. Here's the correction. All right, so we can go back over to this screen now. And I know that's kind of like a shorter kind of little thing that we do, but if you guys have got any other questions about Studio One 6.2 and the new features, other than takes to layers, because the takes to layers thing I'm going to do in a separate video, so I don't want to have to keep on answering that with that's coming in a new video. So with that in mind, anyone got any questions whatsoever about Studio One and recording, mixing, mastering in Studio One, and how I might use some of these features in a more practical sense? Be happy to take those questions, and Christina's happy to answer some questions as well.
Sure, I'll take over the show, no problem.
So like when I go to the bathroom, which I'm going to do in the next 5 minutes, Christina can take over. She can sit in this chair, and I will go and read a book in the bathroom.
I would just say Control Alt Delete.
Control Alt Delete. Yes.
Everything is fixed.
Exactly. Anything you do wrong, Control Alt Delete, or we just shut off the computer that way as well. So anyway, you've been described by Secret Squirrel as lovely co-host. So that's nice.
Thank you so much.
That's
thank
nice.
You so
that's
much.
nice. We talked.
And I see we're up 15 people now.
Are we up to 15 already? Cool. That's good. That's good.
A lot of people coming in.
Yeah, it'd be nice if we could get up towards like 25, 26, 27, maybe even above that. That'd be great. Let's see. Secret Squirrel says, were there any mastering changes in the update? No changes to the project page in this release. There were some changes in earlier releases for Studio One 6, like Studio One 6 itself, and then 6. I think there were some for 6.1. But nothing major for 6.2 for the project page. In fact, no new features for the project page. Mike says 20. We're up to 20 now. Cool.
Yay.
Hey, Johnny Guyver's here as well.
Hi, Johnny.
He says, were there any improvements with its links to Studio One Plus? Yeah, Studio One Plus has the pretty much exactly the same integration with Studio One Plus as it had with Persona Sphere. However, one of the cool things is, and I think some people will find this really cool. Hopefully not too many people will find it annoying. I certainly find it very cool. But if you are in Studio One Plus community and you comment on a post, or you make a post and somebody replies or somebody makes a comment on your post, you will now get notifications up at the top of Studio One. So if we go back over here again, Your little avatar at the top here, if you get notifications, they will appear here. You'll get a little number at the top saying, hey, you have new notification. You know how like with Messenger, if you get a new message, you get a little number at the top of the Messenger icon. It's the same kind of idea with this. So anything that you do in Studio One Community, if somebody responds to that or somebody replies to your post or whatever, or things that happen in workspaces that you're a part of, you will get notifications of those here, and they're very easy to click through to.
It's very, very awesome.
It's very, very cool. I actually like it. When they kind of proposed this idea, I was kind of like, aren't people going to get inundated with lots of notifications? But really, to be honest, I think this is actually a beneficial thing, because it means, okay, whilst you're working in Studio One, you may not want to see like a whole slew of notifications. You don't get a notification sound, which is important, because you don't want it to be going ding when you're recording or anything like that. Nobody wants that. So it's silent. It doesn't make a sound. And it just appears as a number up here, and you don't have to open it automatically. You can just leave them kind of accruing and gathering in here before you view them. But if you want to view them, you just click on your avatar here, and they appear in this drop down. And you can see them. You can scroll. So there's like a whole bunch here, like this one here from David. This is a workspace that I'm part of called Padded Cell, which is created by one of the guys in the Persona software team. And so I can see that this comment has been added. And I can see that Billy's liked one of my posts, and Amy's been responding to some posts that I made as well. So all of that is really, really cool.
But do you get, when you press it, you don't get directly to Studio. You have to open it up in the browser, right? It's like, not if you press it,
yeah,
it doesn't go directly to the web page. It's just an idea of that, get you into information.
Yeah, it basically just closes it. So, but
so
I'm
have to open the web to go into the place and respond.
Yeah, pretty much, exactly.
But it's an awesome feature, it is.
Yeah, I like it. And in actual fact, I've clicked on those two, and it's opened the page. I clicked away from it. It actually opens. It triggers opening the page in the web browser. So there's some things here, and then there's this post here by Arthur Klizuich. I've been talking to him about an issue he has with plugin scaling in Studio One 6, and so I've been helping him out with that. And Rich has just posted in one of the he's actually posted in the Foley Moly Music Challenge. So that's a notification that I've just seen come in. And if I go back to Studio One, I close that as well. There, at the top there, you see the number there. And I'm getting all these notifications that I don't want to be seeing. Go away. Go away. Go away. Thank you. Right. Fortunately, you guys won't have seen those notifications because they are hidden by our camera view. But as you can see at the top here, now we have this number 1. So if I click on that, I can see that Rich has posted Hello World in here. And if I click on that, and then I go over to the browser, it now opens that, and there it is. It says Hello World. So I can now see that.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Rich, for the demonstration. I appreciate that a lot. And I can go back over here. I can go back over here. There we go. So yeah, that's a useful little feature. Extra integration with Studio One Plus inside of Studio One. It's only going to get better from here.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Without giving anything away.
Anything else change in the Plus thing? The old sphere?
Yeah, I think I covered that in the last show, where where you've now got a light theme and a dark theme, and you kind of saw the light theme in action. There is a dark theme as well, which I think is the default theme for most people. especially if your computer system has dark theme by default as its system.
Smart.
Yeah, then it defaults to that. So basically, you're not kind of surprised by, oh, it's suddenly really bright. It actually kind of follows your system settings. One of the things we realized was that the dark was a little bit too dark.
Oh.
And the text in dark mode is a little bit too kind of bright. Okay. And so we've changed that a little bit. I can show that if I go and set Studio One Plus into the different color mode, and I should show this actually. And okay. I kind of showed this on the video the standalone video that I did for Studio One Plus. But I also did it in the follow-up live stream as well. So, but in case you missed all of that, go check out the standalone video that I've done for Studio One Plus. But if you click this little hamburger icon next to your avatar, there's a couple of changes here that I think you will all find really, really useful. So if I click this guy here, there is the theme changing. And if you have it set to auto, it will default to whatever your system settings are, to the nearest, because there's only two themes, dark or light, which is basically like the Force in Star Wars. It's either Jedi or dark side.
Not
so
gray behind, yeah, not gray between.
And there's no in between. So if your settings are a little bit different, then it's gonna switch between whichever is the nearest. So if I set this now into dark mode, and if I close that, and then if I go to community, now you can see the color of the text is a little bit grayer than the bright white that it was when we first launched this dark mode. We actually had the contrast a little bit too strong.
Too much?
A little bit too much, and some people were just like, wow, that's... So we fixed that, because we do that. That's what we do at Presonus. We fix things.
Yeah, you do.
You know, if people are just like, hey, this is great, but... we listen to the but, and that sounded wrong.
Yeah.
Me saying we listen to the but. Yeah. We don't listen to your buts in that sense. You know, but if you have an issue or something you want to see improved, something you think would work better, we're all ears for that. And
where can one put it then?
You can either, for things to do with Studio One Plus, put it in community and tag either John Hillman or Dave Coffin. Dave Coffin is the guy that does most of the development. So basically what you're seeing here is his handiwork. And John Hillman is the product director for Studio One Plus. So he oversees everything to do with Studio One Plus, integration with Studio One, integration with Notion Mobile, integration with Notion 6, and also he oversees kind of like all the payments and how they get processed and everything else. So he does all of that. He oversees the whole development of Studio One Plus. And so if you tag either of those guys and you see something that you think needs to be changed or fixed or improved in Studio One Plus, then just tag them in that, and they will see your tag and they will click through to your post, and they will by and largely just look into it, or they'll say, hey, we've got this already underway. Dave is actually very quick. If something needs fixed, he'll just deploy a fix, unless it's something big, in which case, he'll take a little bit more time over it. But something simple like, let's just make this text a little bit grayer, he did it in a few minutes. So, and then it just gets deployed and it automatically updates. You don't have to update Studio One Plus.
Oh, that's good.
So yeah. So that's one thing that we did. The other thing you'll notice, I'm going to go back to my auto theme because I like this. The other thing you'll notice is that before, if you wanted to access your plan, you had to go to the account page. And then from the account page, you had to go to plan from there. So before you had to click account and then plan. Now you'll see it's still there. You can still do it that way, but we've made it easier. So you can just click on the hamburger and click on plan. And that didn't really work.
Oh.
Why did that not work? Try that again.
The old one?
Plan. There we go. So if you go, it must have just got confused. So if you click on hamburger, click on plan, this takes you to your plan page, and you can see when your subscription is going to expire. You can see all of your activations as well. I've actually removed all of my activations temporarily for now because I'm going to do some videos on activating with Studio One Plus. So that's why you see no activations there for me, but it does actually work. You will under here you should see all of your computers, or if you use Notion Mobile, you'll see Notion Mobile and the device it's activated on listed here. But yeah, so this is nice and quick and easy. Plus you'll also see your auto pay. You should also see credit cards and all of that here.
That's smart.
Yeah, so it just makes it a lot easier for everybody. So I hope that answers that question, Johnny. It was a good one. Good question. I like that. Let's see. What else do we have? Ron says, is the publishing mixdown exports to Studio One Plus a new feature, or am I late to the game as usual? Yeah. How do I answer that honestly, Ron? No, I'm kidding. Basically, Studio One Plus is exactly the same as Persona Sphere. It's just a new name with a little bit of tidying up of UI, the user interface. That's essentially all it is. So think Persona Sphere when you think Studio One Plus, and you've got it right, because they are essentially the same thing. It's just it's no longer called Persona Sphere. It's called Studio One Plus. So if you export a mixdown, so if we go over here like this, and I'm going to actually undo that. I'm going to undo that. So it's now one thing, and I'm going to do Alt-Y, and I'm going to open the marker track. So now my markers are set to the start and the end. So let's say I wanted to export this, and I wanted to upload it to Studio One Plus. You go Studio One. I think it's in Studio One. No, it's in Song. Sorry. I can't remember where it is. Export mixdown. There we go. Export mixdown. Now, normally it says here, do not publish, but now you can upload it to Studio One Plus. You can upload it to SoundCloud. You can also send to Notion if you've got notation. If you've got like MIDI data in the song, you can send it to Notion. But yeah, upload to Studio One Plus. It basically is exactly the same as uploading to Persona Sphere. It's the same deal. You get to select your workspace that you want to upload it to and all of that fun stuff. Understood, but has that always been available for either? Yes. Yeah, pretty much when Persona Sphere was first launched, one of the first things that we did was we made a way for you to upload to a workspace. And actually that's only got better and better and better as time has gone by. So now it's super, super easy now to send us either to upload just a single stem file like this, or you can via the collaboration like you've always done since we launched the collaboration feature in Studio One 6.1. You can still do exactly the same thing in Studio One 6.2. It's the same thing. All that's changed is it no longer says Persona Sphere. It now says Studio One Plus. That's the only change, really. But it's essentially the same thing.
So also there's still collaborate. Is that what's its name?
Yep, it's
up there in the edit or file or something.
Yeah. So if I go to file, you've still got collaboration. You can still join. You can still share. All of this is still exactly the same. All it is just a name change. That's it. That's all that's happened. Yeah.
Nothing new to think about.
Rich says, although this would be an Ajax issue of Mr. Coffin and gang need to know whatever. Yeah. Okay. Understood, Chris. Chris, I keep calling you that. Stop it. Rich.
Yeah.
Rich, I'm going to call you Jeff from now on. Just so that I stop.
Catman.
Bobby Booth is here. He says, sorry late, had some business to do. Good to see you, Bobby. You are always here. You are pretty much every show. So we can start now, I guess. Mike says, my favorite shortcut when things go wrong is Alt F4. Alt F4.
What is that one?
Yeah, no.
Don't do it.
No, I'm not going to do it. Not going to do that one. No. There you go. Rich says, my name is Jeff. There you go. Jeff Cresswell.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Anybody got any other questions to do with Studio One, Studio One Plus, and all of that? Ron says, I didn't want to collab, more like an FTP thing. Oh, you mean you just want to upload it just in broad general terms to Studio One Plus? So what do you mean? Do you mean like you want to just share on community or something like that? Or you want to upload something that goes directly just to your page? You can't do it directly from inside Studio One. If you want to upload something directly to your personal page.
Why not?
Because that's just not available yet.
Because I made a workspace that just called Christina.
Yeah, you can make a workspace.
No one is allowed. I don't have anyone.
Yeah,
there
you can absolutely do that.
That's kind of
you can absolutely do that. But let's say, for example, let me just go back over to the lounge for a second. Let's say, for example, I am in my own page and I want to add something to it, like one of these pieces of music here. I don't know if this is what you're talking about. Oh, upload to a workspace for your own use. Yes, absolutely. Just create one that only you are in. I have one. I have a workspace that only I am in. Or at least I think it's... No, there's a few in that one. But this is the one that is just me. So I've got one here called Brand New Day. This was like a little test that I was doing when we were launching workspaces. And so I'm the only person in this workspace. So if I want to upload anything, I can do that. Just in the same way that you would ordinarily do. Just treat this as just normal workspace, except the only person you're sharing with is yourself. And it'll work.
It's awesome if you have, like I have 2 computers. So if we're working on one song on one computer, you upload it to your workspace, and then you can go from the sky from any other computer and download it. Yeah,
exactly right. Exactly right. So let's go back to our song over here. Let's say we want to share this, or I don't know whether I'm joined to that other workspace. Document we saved to this operation. Yes. So where is it? Why is it not listed? Oh, I know why. These are workspaces. I'm signed into my work account. That's why I can't demonstrate this. That'd be why. So if I had that Brand New Day workspace here, I would select it and then I would hit select and off it would go. But I can't do that with any of these.
But remember that if
I could do it with test space. I can do it with test space.
Ah, great.
There we go. Because nobody's in test space apart from me. So let's say this is Ronald's test space rather than my test space. And this is where you want to just upload your stuff. There's only me and Dave Coffin in here. And I don't think Dave ever goes in here. So if I hit select, checking remote location. Okay, there we go. And then I just hit start. And it's done. And it's done. So now I know that that has been sent to that workspace. Let me just go and check. Do I have that workspace here? I'm just checking to see. Is it in here yet? I'm just checking in that test space to see if it's here. Sometimes it takes a little while for it to. There it is. I see it. So, okay. So that new piece that I just created, it's just that crappy little guitar thing that I did the crossfade for.
Mozart it was.
Sorry?
Clean Mozart.
Clean Mozart. No,
Yeah.
crappy guitar part. So there's that folder. And I just sent this. So now this is in my workspace, and I can open this song if I want to. Ron says, I've done it and it works fine for accessing between Mac and PC. Yes, it does. It does. It's actually a great thing to do if you want to be able to, like you say, you start a song on the PC and you want to open it up on a Mac, or vice versa. This is a good way to do it. Just have a workspace where it's only you in it, and then you can just like trade songs between the different computers. For example, if you've got a Mac at home and you have another studio space where your PC is, or other way around, whatever, then you can have the two songs open on both machines, one at home, one at your studio space. And so actually this is a very good workflow for doing that.
And maybe as a backup, if you don't have an external hard drive.
Yeah. Yeah.
How many gigabytes? You gave us a lot, right?
Yeah, 100. Yep.
It's a lot.
Yeah, so you get 100 gigabytes with your Studio One Plus membership. So, and that's quite a lot. And if you find that you start to run out of that, you can always delete stuff. And it is yeah, Billy's right. It is absolutely definitely easier than Dropbox. Actually, on my channel somewhere, I have a video where I actually showed how you can send files via Dropbox, because that, when I'm doing session work, either I'm doing keyboard parts, or I'm doing vocals, or I'm doing voiceover, or I'm doing bass parts, that is historically how I do things. I just do it via Dropbox. And actually there is a workflow for that, which I can show you. And it's actually really straightforward. So let's say this is our neat little guitar part that somebody's asked us to do for their kind of folksy little ballad song. We can go to Files, and I can close the desktop thing here. I can't remember where I put this. I had a link to Dropbox on here, and I can't remember where I put it, because I think did I remove it? I may have removed it.
Oh.
I may have removed my link to Dropbox on here, because with Workspaces I figured I wouldn't need it anymore. Yeah, it looks like I did. It looks like it did.
Maybe that's for next Sunday then.
So anyway, this is how it works ostensibly. So let's say this is our Dropbox folder. But you can do this. If you've got Dropbox on your computer, you can navigate to that folder in the Studio One browser. I just can't remember where it is on this computer. Is it on here? No, I don't see it here. Let's see. See if I can find it. Users. Jonny. Dropbox. Found it. Found it. There's all my Dropbox folders. So let's say I'm going to proceed with this now. Let's say I decide I want to send this to Jonny Guy. I know Jonny has Dropbox. I hope he still has Dropbox. So let's say this is something that I want to do regularly. And I want to have this available regularly. I can go right click. I can go new tab from here. And now I have a new tab at the top here. So I've got Files, Studio One, Loop Loft loops. So all of my Loop Loft loops are in here. And these are on my F drive, which is an external hard drive. There's all my Loop Loft drums. But let's say I want to put this guitar part into this folder so that Jonny can then go and create something with this. I can now just grab this and drag and drop it. And this gives me, if I hold, I've now got some options, and I think it's Alt. Yep. If you tap the Alt key or the Option key on a Mac, you can decide whether it's going to be a WAV file, a wave with rendered insert effects, or an audio loop. So I'm going to say WAV file so that I give Jonny the best options. And there it is. So that has now gone into the local Dropbox folder on my computer. And then that will it will sync to the Dropbox on the cloud, which is where Dropbox is. They have their own cloud storage. And then Jonny will have his folder on his computer. And when he refreshes that on his computer, he will see that file and he can just drag it straight into Studio One and he can add whatever he wants to it. Jonny may decide not to do anything with this at all if he's still here, but this is how he and I used to send stuff to each other all the time. But now with Workspaces, we don't have to do that. But if you're working with somebody that doesn't, you can still do it this way pretty quickly, pretty instantly with Dropbox. So this is possible still, but Workspaces is definitely a better workflow. And the cool thing about Workspaces and Studio One Plus is you can work with people and they don't have to have a Studio One Plus membership.
Oh, they don't?
No, they don't have to. If you want to work with somebody that doesn't have a Studio One Plus membership, all they need to do is create a MyPersonus account.
That's all? That's
all they got to do. It's just a MyPersonus account. And that doesn't cost anything to do.
But how will they see the work? The workspace.
So when they get a MyPersonus account, they will see your invite to the workspace, and the only thing they will get access to is the workspace. They won't get access to anything
workspace.
Else. Yeah, the workspace
so
that you invite them
to make their own.
No.
Okay, so it have to be yours.
It has. Yeah, they can only they can only get access to a workspace that they've been invited to. They can't create their own workspace because that's part of the membership. Yeah. So I understand that. So you can work with people, and actually most of the people that I work with now, they all have MyPersonus accounts, so that they can we can work in Workspaces. And they go, you know what, this is really, really cool. Why don't I just join this thing?
Yeah, why not?
So a few of the people that I work with have actually just gone and said, hey, it's $15 a month. I'm just going to join this thing. And so they become members of Studio One Plus, and they've gone and got Studio One, and they've got Notion, and they're actually starting to move over.
Sounds, loops, a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and
Community,
they're starting
dialogue with people, and it's easy to send support tickets.
It is.
It is.
It is.
A lot of things.
And I unless they're Notion ones, I don't get them.
Okay.
Yeah. We have other folk that deal with the Studio One tickets these days. I do Notion for the vast part.
Yeah, but I think that Sphere or Now Plus is awesome in many ways.
Yeah. Gets
much more than the box. It would be much more expensive going out and buying that stuff.
Yep. Yeah, yeah, and you know what? This integration with Workspaces is so much easier because you can actually talk to people in the workspace. And, if let's say I send this guitar part off on a workspace rather than doing it through Dropbox. What can happen now is the person I'm collaborating with or the producer that I'm working with can say, hey, this is actually good, but can you, rather than finger picking this, can you strum it? And I can go, and he can say, with a softer pick, if you could strum it rather than finger pick it and just use a soft pick instead, can you do a version of that? He can actually leave that comment on that audio file.
On it?
Yeah, and the cool thing is that when that producer leaves that comment, it will appear in my notifications up here.
Awesome. And right away? As
soon as he hits enter, it comes straight into notifications here. So the next time I open up Studio One, I will see it. And if I'm actually working on the track at the time and I see that notification, I can just tap back a quick reply, yep, coming up, and I'll just cut a new version of that guitar part and just add it to that workspace.
So fast, and not in real time, but almost like
almost real time.
Within seconds.
It is as close to real time as at the moment we can get.
And time is money sometimes.
And time is money sometimes. But I mean, the best kind of collaboration that you can have now with Studio One Plus is where you open the same song in Studio One on my computer and my producer's computer, and it basically can update dynamically. So I can be adding files to the song. He can be adding files to the song, and Rich is just demonstrating all of these things for me in the workspace. It's fantastic. I love it. So if I now click on this, Rich says, comment at 50 seconds. Hey, this bit is cool. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So a producer can say, hey, this really, really works. I like this. Or can you do this instead? And then I can just go, yeah, sure. I can respond to that comment. I can go, yeah, sure. I can then add another file, and a notification of that file being uploaded will appear right here. And there's even a button, if I can find an instance of where it happens, because I think I have had it happen. Let me see if I can scroll down and find it. You get a little button. I have to go find it though. So there's
me.
That's you. You've asked me to join this, and I have actually already joined it. So
yeah.
I don't know why that's not cleared, but
a long time ago, yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to find it because I have had this happen. Oh, it might. You know what? It might have cleared because once you've.
Or you cleared all at one time.
Yeah, it might have cleared because I might have.
There was an accept and decline. Is that one?
No, that's not it. No. Okay. It's what happens is, if somebody does that, like if somebody sends me a file in our workspace, I've got the song open. Even if I don't have the song open, what you'll see on the notification is it will say receive. You'll just get a receive button. You hit that receive button, and it will download that file to that song.
But what about if you are working on something, you have not saved it, and then it's sync. You gotta save first. You have to save first before you press the button?
Always save first before you send anything or receive anything. Always have the song saved so that you don't get any missing files errors.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're working on the same song, and you sit in and then you put a D on. Yeah. And then you see, oh, my producer have done something. Then you have to save to be sure that the D stays in your song, then it's synchronized with the D.
That only that kind of only happens if I'm like if I drag in something from Looploft.
Oh.
So if it's an external file that I drag into Looploft and then I just send the whole song or update the song in the workspace, you can get a missing file error. They might not receive that loop because it's not been stored yet in the pool in the song. So that's where saving the song and right-clicking in the pool. Let's go over to the pool tab. Let's close that. If I go over to the pool tab, and let's say this was an internal file, I can right-click here and I can go copy external files. So that Looploft loop, I can then copy that into the pool for this song, and then when that song gets updated in the workspace, all of those files from the pool go as well. That's where some people can get unstuck, is they bring in a lot of external files like loops from their different loop libraries that they've got, or symphonic sounds, or whatever it is that they've got, and then they update the song in the workspace, and then the person receiving doesn't receive all of the files because they were not in the pool. And so the way you get them into the pool is by doing that right click, copy external files, or you can
automatically
you can set it to automatically do it in options. Where is it in options? I have to try and remember.
Isn't that in general? I don't know. No. I
can't remember. Is it in locations? There it is. It's locations. So you go to options, locations, and then you check this box here, ask to copy external files when saving document. So if you have this already checked, which I do, it's already checked, then what you do is you just do Command S, Control S, save the song. The dialog box will appear saying, do you want to copy these files? Yes! You don't even think about it. You just hit yes. And then that looploft file will copy to the pool, to the media folder, and then when you update the song in the workspace, everything is hunky-dory.
Oh, and amen to that.
And Batman is your uncle.
He is.
All right, we got some questions. Can they add to that workspace? I'm not quite sure what that means, or what workspace you're referring to. W5 family here though. Hello guys. Hello Craig. How you doing? Ski Jump Joe says, what if you invite someone and they delete items on your workspace by mistake? Is there a recover option? The only thing that they can delete is their own stuff. And if they do delete their own stuff, so if they've uploaded their own files, if they delete them by mistake, they have to re-upload them. It's as simple as that. But stuff that you have uploaded, there are protections in place that prevent that from happening. So you should be good. Simmark End says Studio One Plus is a collab like people can hear when you mix or master. Yeah, you can upload an entire song and people can then open that song in Studio One. Your collaborators can open up that song in Studio One 6. And you know, you can send files back and forth and work dynamically in one song. Ron Figura can send me a keyboard part. Mike can send me another keyboard part. Billy can send me whatever he wants to send me. Anybody can send anything and we can all work on the same song and all have the same song on our computers and be sending and receiving files between each other in the workspace. It really works really, really well and can be very, very successful when done correctly.
You also have, if you have different workspaces, remember to go out of one workspace and into another. You have to exit the workspace.
Yeah.
I had trouble with that in the beginning.
Yep, that's a good point. That is a good point.
And that's also under file.
Yep.
Or go down and collaboration. And
yeah, make sure you're not uploading stuff to the wrong location.
Yeah. Or downloading the same again from the song you worked on.
Yeah,
prior.
So as Ron says here, it's not in real time. It's not. You're right. It's not in real time and it's not live, but it's pretty close. If you are both sat at your computers at the same time, doesn't matter where you are in the world, even if it's morning in one part of the world and it's evening in the other part of the world, if you're both sat at the same time at your computers with the song open, you can send files back and forth and it's really as fast as your internet speed. But it's not real time.
The only thing
that's in the future, maybe.
Oh,
maybe.
That's interesting. But the receiver also have to have the add-ons, the sounds, whatever. Because if the person doesn't,
that's a good point.
Sound.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. And I've seen this happen actually, where somebody was working with another person, and they were working on the same song, but the other person didn't have the Persona Symphonic Orchestra add-on. And so what they saw was a dialog box with a load of missing files and a load of missing devices because they didn't have those add-ons. And so they were just like, what's up with this? Why am I getting this? It's just, well, you don't have the Persona Symphonic Orchestra add-on. You need to have that in order to be able to work on the same thing together. So
and sometimes when you get the little dialogue, isn't that in the right corner says download? But you have to, if you don't have them prior or have deleted them, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah. If you don't have them or you deleted them, which is what happened in this person's case, they had I'm trying not to say had because it sounds weird. Had.
They didn't have had.
I sound like a lawnmower. They were formerly a member of Studio One Plus. Formerly a member of Studio One Plus, so no longer a member. No longer a member. But they had been working collaboratively on the same song, and he decided he wanted to revisit this song and make some changes to what had been done, and he didn't have the PSO anymore.
Oh man.
So I was just like, yeah,
Problem.
that's what happens when you don't have the PSO anymore. And the only solution he would have had is if he had rendered those files to transform them to rendered audio.
Rendered audio. That's what you're gonna do.
But that would have been the only. But he doesn't have that option anymore because he doesn't have the PSO to be able to do that.
I see. Because you also have to remember in all songs. I experienced that in my old songs.
Yeah.
I clean up some sounds. Then I'm gonna listen to my old songs, and then I got missing sound.
Yeah, you can't do that.
So we have to think about if you're deleting some sounds, right? If you have used them on your old songs.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't.
Then
do
it's
that,
gonna be a mess.
Yeah, it will get messy, and the Studio One support guys, they get tickets on that a lot when people do that, and they go, "Oh, how do I resolve all these missing files?"
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ron says they can listen locally and discuss, but would need to transfer changes. Correct. But it's not in real time. So it's not like you can actually talk to each other in real time, or record a guitar part in real time and you're listening to the guitar part being recorded. No, that's not a thing in 2023 in Workspaces and Studio One Plus yet.
Yeah, because it's not developed yet in any program, right? It's not possible.
No, there is a program called SessionWire which kind of does do this, but it's not necessarily cheap to do. But you can use something like Zoom so that you can at least talk to the people you're working with. You can use Zoom and you can talk, or Skype, and you can talk that way. But none of the data transfer from Studio One is in real time. So, there would be a little bit of waiting around whilst files get sent, files get received. So it would work if you're both sat in your studios at the same time. It would be pretty quick, but it wouldn't be instantaneous. And there's no kind of direct streaming from one computer to another. At least not yet. Who knows what the future holds? Because the way file transfer works in the internet in general is just changing all the time. And for a long time, it's like people have talked about, oh, wouldn't it be great if we could do this long distance jam session where I'm working with. I'm playing a blues and G on my keyboard here, and Christina's in Denmark, and she wants to improvise as well, or she wants to scat sing. At the moment, SessionWire is probably the closest thing to being able to do that in real time, but not for Studio One and Studio One Plus and Workspaces. It's just not a thing at all. Rich says the infrastructure needed for that is rather specialized. Yes, it is. It is incredibly specialized, incredibly complicated. So Semog Eng says, but they can listen while I mix. No, they can't listen in real time whilst you mix. Nope. It's not real time at all. So they won't be able to hear what you're doing until you print a mix and send them that mix. And then they can comment on that in Workspaces, and then you can see their comments, and then you can upload another mix. You can do that, but it's not instantaneous, and they won't be able to listen as you mix. They won't be able to say, hey, can you turn the bass down a wee bit? They'll have to listen to your print first. Then they can comment on the print, hey, can you turn the bass down? And then you can go, oh, they want me to turn the bass down. No problem. I turn the bass down. You export another mix down. You upload that to the workspace. And you comment on that. Here, bass turned down a bit. How's this? And then they listen to it and they go, yeah, this is exactly what we want. That's the mix we want.
Why not sometimes, like you did right now, you have a track.
Yep.
You connect it to whatever, YouTube, Zoom, whatever. And then you play that track. And people listen to that track and say, could you put the bass up? Is that a possibility?
You can do that if you have something like loopback. Or
loopback, what is that?
Yeah, which is, I mean, this is how this video is being done. how this live stream gets done and how you hear this guitar part. Is because the Studio One audio is going through my interface effectively twice. Is going through the interface, going through the outputs, then going through a virtual set of outputs, which then go into OBS, which you get to hear. So I can set my virtual loop back in Skype or in Zoom so that you can hear that output.
But you have to have an interface.
You have to have an interface that supports that, or
supports it. Okay.
you have to have either on a Mac you can create an aggregate device where you can trick the computer into listening to an aggregate device of two interfaces.
Oh, okay.
It's a little bit complicated.
Sounds like...
On a Mac it's relatively straightforward because you can set up two interfaces and you can send the output of one into the input of another one virtually inside the computer. And that's what an aggregate device does. On a PC, you can't do that because the way they designed audio on a PC, they designed it so that you couldn't do that because they just didn't think that would ever be a thing.
And there it was.
And so you either have to have an interface that can do it internally in the interface, or you the only other way to do it is to have two separate interfaces and a pair of cables from one to the other.
Okay.
And then you set up OBS or Skype or whatever it is to listen to the second interface.
So if one doesn't have an interface, buy one with loop.
Buy one with loopback, like the Studio 1824C. That would do the job. So Rich is gloriously adding comments. If I just update it, there we go. So if I show you that, you can see that now. Comment 106, this is a reply. Comment to 106, this is a bit better. This is a reply. So exactly. Thank you. Ambient Day says Restream is an option. Yeah, Restream is definitely a good option. And the time delay on Restream, which comes from the makers of Reaper, is actually pretty good. I've seen some people have really good results with it. For doing, it's basically like another virtual output.
Oh.
But it's like a plugin. It sits on your main output. Yeah, or Voice Meter Banana. That's the other option.
A what?
Voice Meter.
Oh, I thought you said something about banana.
Yeah, it's because that's what they call it. Voice Meter is the company, and I think it's Voice Meter the company. And Banana is the version of their virtual thing. Their virtual.
That's a funny name.
Yeah, I don't know why they call it that. And as Rich says, if you click on them, it takes you to the page. That is correct. It opens up the web page. So if I click on one of these, like that, and then I go over here, I wait for it to open, and there it is.
Smart.
Yep. And we've got some other comments here as well. Sure would like to know what you use for the kick and synth samples. And there's another one that's just literally popped in. Lots of sounds, drums are great. This is fantastic. There's me. I said that a while back. So, yeah, it works. It works beautifully well. All right, we are actually 10 minutes over because we've been having way too much fun. But thanks ever so much, everybody, for coming. This has been fun. It's been a different way for me to do my show with having Christina here.
It was very fun.
It was very fun. I really enjoyed the banter from everybody and the banter from Christina as well, which is always hilarious. So it was a mic bump for the sample. There you go. Cool. So I don't know if Mike has an after show party planned, but if you would like to do that, Mike, please go ahead, drop a link to the Zoom, and if you folks would like to get over there, then please come and join us. They usually. I don't know whether he's fixed his computer yet or not. He might not, but I think he has Zoom on his work computer, I think. So he may well still be able to launch his Zoom. So Mike, I don't know if you're still here and you want to do it.
Please.
Please do.
Yeah.
It could be quite entertaining.
Yeah, and throw the link here, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Mike is a moderator, so he can just put the link in the chat. And we'd all be able to get over to it. So until next week for Wednesday for Songwriting Simplified, I will be here on my lonesome because unfortunately Christina has to get back. Yeah. Get back to Denmark because she has commitments back there and her kids have school and still on holiday.
Weeks.
Yeah, still on holiday. So
yeah. We're gonna be in Edinburgh until Thursday, but we're going around.
Yeah, you're on a bit of a road trip. Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
So not being here.
So until then, folks, back to normal on Wednesday, and then we'll be doing a show next Sunday as well. So still happy to talk about Studio 16.2 features if you guys are wanting that. Otherwise, we'll just keep doing the show like we normally do.
Tell your friends.
Definitely tell your friends. If you're not a subscriber, if you're just watching and you haven't worked out how to get involved, then hit the subscribe button because it's subscriber mode only for the chat. You need to be a subscriber for at least 5 minutes. Once you're a subscriber, then you get to enjoy the chat and talk to these very, very friendly people in the chat, and you get to ask questions as well to me, which I'm happy to answer. But yeah, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and select all notifications. That way you don't miss next week's show and you don't miss my Takes to Layers video, which will be coming up pretty soon, and a whole bunch of other things that I have going on this channel as well. So please do that. Hit the like button if you thought this show was useful to you and helpful to you. But until then, folks, I'm going to bid you a very good night in just 1 second. There we go. Yeah. We've got the Zoom link. Thank you, Rich.
Yeah, awesome.
There we go. All right, so we'll see you guys over on the Zoom chat in just a few minutes. Good night, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're very welcome. This was fun. This was cool. All right. Good night, folks.
Nighty-night.
Bye.